Did we really expect yesterday's nice weather to last? Did we really? I did. Then again, I'm optimistic in that regard. It is pouring down again. At least it's not coming in horizontally though, so it makes me very happy. So we are on to, is it day 5 already? Day 5. Today we've got a big itinerary. Tyre House, Paxton House, Abbotsford, and one more, either Mellistrain or Manderston House is on today's list, and then we finish off today at the Allenton Inn. So we are leaving Peebles. It is 9:54 in the morning, and had a great night. Full Scottish breakfast again this morning. Sans haggis. The lovely lady at the inn, or at the B&B where I was just at, doesn't do haggis, but I had black pudding and sausage and bacon and eggs and tomato and beans and a potato scone and toast and marmalade and tea. So it was a delightful morning. I got up nice and bright and early and edited 2 driving videos, so you'll see day 3 up already and day 4 is on its way. And yeah, so we're off to Tyre House. They open at 11. It's about a 10 or 15 minute drive to Tyre House, but I was thinking once I got there I could sit and explore and finish day 4's driving video and maybe do some knitting. So I've got a plan. Alright, off we go. Have a wonderful day everybody, and I'll see you a bit later on. So we have made it to Tyre. And we are here, and as you can probably tell, it's raining. As I said earlier, I have switched into my pants, because before I was in my skirt, now I'm in my pants, and I've got my raincoat on, and I'm just at this point staying dry. The house opens at 11, it's about 10:20, 10:30, so I'm gonna go see if the courtyard is open to get my ticket, and then I might explore the gardens. See if there's some flowers to take some pictures of. I've just seen a jakey mallard duck in the river to my left. And there's some sheep behind me, so it's all very good. So we'll just keep walking and see what we find. I believe Tyre, from what the info sheet tells me, is the oldest inhabited house in Scotland, so it's the oldest built that's still lived in. So yeah, I don't know when it was built. I'll find that out for you though. All right, I'm just gonna keep going, see what I see.
How do you guys get to the duck pond? Because there's the duck pond. How do you get to the duck pond? Why is the crow in the duck pond? Oh, hello, Mr. Goat. Mr. Goat. Oh, there's 2 goats. Come on, goats. I know it's wet out. You can come and play. Oh, come and play. Oh, doing some preening. How do the ducks get to the duck pond? It's very sad. It's very sad. There's a duck pond. Who goes in the duck pond?
So here we are leaving Tyre. Very fascinating house. all sorts of different height doorways, and as you've probably seen, I went through the priest hole because it was a house that Catholics lived in, but of course during the time when Catholics weren't allowed to openly worship, so if they were ever raided, the priest could sneak out the priest hole and then go and hide in the woods until they left. And so I went through the priest hole, and very steep set of steps, and the priest must have been very, very short, I must say, very short. What else? Oh, the chapel was number 13 on your audio guide, which I'm not okay with. Chapels in the number 13 just seems wrong. I would have skipped 13 or moved 13 somewhere else. Anyways, we're just leaving Tyre, and then I'm off to, where am I off to? Abbotsford, I think. So I'm just going to take a look in the workshops and then be on my way. Welcome to the Allenton Inn. My laptop is on and waiting for me and ready to go. This is the Allenton Inn. Funnily enough, I'm in room number 5 again. Last night I was in room number 5. I was born on January 5th. Must be my week to get 5s. Anyways, and my shower. Oh my goodness, I didn't think I'd have a shower. Little sink, heated towel, and toilet. Oh, I have to stop doing that, Ashley James. Anyways, so that's where I am for the night. So that should be good. So here we are, room number 5. I was in room number 5 last night as well, and I'm in room number 5 again this evening. So seems like room number 5 is gonna be where I hail, and room number 10 as well. Two 5s or 10. So we'll see about tomorrow night. I need to book tomorrow night. That's something I should get on with. So today, the list for today was, let me get it. Got it. Was Peebles to Tyre, and then Tyre to Abbotsford, and then Abbotsford to Floors, and then Floors to Manderston. And then Manderston to the Allenton Inn. And I'm at the Allenton Inn. But I did not do Floors. And I did not do Manderston. And I'm a little upset by that. Manderston's only open on Thursdays and Sundays, but it closes at 4 p.m. And is it 4 p.m. Manderston? No, 5 p.m. Floors closes at 4. That's why. And I'm a little upset by this because I really wanted to see Manderston. Everyone's been recommending it. Everyone's been speaking really highly of it. And I thought, hey, I should get on with that and I should do that, but c'est la vie, that did not happen. Behind me you can see my black sweater thing drying, as it is quite damp, as in extremely very damp. Today did not go as planned at all. At one point today I was very much ready to turn back to Edinburgh, get on a plane and go home. I was halfway between Tyre and Abbotsford, and I got a puncture in my tire. Front passenger tire, so the left front tire. Pulled over onto the side of the road, and there's quite a big lay-by on the side of the road. It was huge. You could have had a Kaylee or a barn dance, or you could have had a heck of a time. And I phoned Avis, their 24-hour emergency number, and I said, hey Avis, can you send me some help? I've got a puncture in my tire. And they're like, yeah, for sure, we'll do that. Where are you? I told them I was on the A72 by Thorny Lee. And she said, okay, great. Here's your confirmation number. He'll be there in about 90 minutes. Can you tell me the brand of tire and the type of tire and the... So I gave her all of that information. She said, there'll be someone there. in about 90 minutes, a little bit more than that. And I was like, perfect, that sounds amazing. I'll just sit here. So I sat there and I worked on some knitting. Stay right there. So I worked on some knitting. Last time you saw what I was knitting, it was about there. I now have the rest of the foot and the heel into that knitting. And that 90 minutes was definitely not 90 minutes. It was 3 hours. And after about 3 hours, or 2.5-ish, a John Deere tractor with a grass mowing attachment pulled into the lay-by with me. And he sat there for ages, and you could tell the driver was on his cell phone, and I was thinking, you know, do I go and ask him? What do I do? I don't know. So I did. So I got out of the car in the pouring rain, and I didn't expect to be out of the car for as long as I was, so I just went in my black sweater. And I walked over, and I had a lovely chat with the man in the tractor, and I confirmed that I was on the A72. He told me I was 3 miles south of Walkerburn. I was in Tweed Valley. He confirmed everything that I told the lovely people at Avis. And for whatever reason, they still hadn't gotten there. And I was chatting to the lovely man. He was a Scottish Borders Council, and he'd been mowing the verge on the road. And his day had come to an end. He'd been mowing verges since 6 o'clock, and it was about 3 p.m. And his day was coming to a close. And yeah, so he offered to change my tire and put my spare on, and that was fantastic. So he did that for me. And while he was doing that, I got a phone call from the gentleman who'd been called out to come and change my tire. And he's like, I can't find you. I followed the directions. I can't find you. And I was like, well, I'm on the A72. I'm 3 miles south of Walkerburn. I'm in Tweed Valley. There's a sign in front of me that says Thorny Lee Forestry Conservation. And I had a chat with this gentleman, and he's like, okay, I'll keep trying, but I've looked in all the laybys along the A72 and I can't find you. And he's like, just hang tight. I was like, I don't have time for this, because I have to get to Abbotsford, and I have to get to Flores, and I have to get to Manderson. I don't have time for this. I need to go. And so he tried. Thank goodness he tried. Anyways, the lovely man from the Scottish Borders Council, he changed my tire successfully for me. We put the busted tire in the boot. The spare tire is currently on the car. You cannot go more than 50 miles per hour on the spare tire, and you also cannot go more than 50 minutes driving on the spare tire without having to stop for 10 minutes and have it cool down. So I drove to Abbotsford. The road, I got a phone call while I was on the road to Abbotsford from the gentleman called out to change the tire, and from his dispatch, and the dispatch was like, well, we sent him out, why hasn't he got to you yet? And I said, I don't know. And the person on the end of the phone was like, well, we're really confused, do you have a postal code for where you're at? And I was like, I really don't. I said, the postal code of where I'm going to is blah 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 for Abbotsford, and this is what the postal code is. He can meet me there because I've got my spare on now, so he can meet me there. To which the dispatch person replied, they're like, that's in Scotland. Why, yes, it is in Scotland, because that is where I am, is in Scotland. I have not left Scotland. I'm on the border, so I'm very close to almost being in England if I wanted to, but I'm definitely in Scotland. And he said, well, we've been dispatched from County Durham. County Durham. Just let that sink in. Now go find a map and look up Abbotsford and County Durham. They're not very close together at all. So I'm really glad I didn't wait for him any longer and didn't insist that the Scottish Border Council gentleman shouldn't help me. I did also offer the Scottish Border gentleman 20 quid for changing my tire, which he politely turned down. I should have insisted more, but anyways. So I got to Abbotsford. I got phoned again by the people trying to organize my change of tire, and I said, just look. I was like, I'm fed up. I'm done with this. just cancel it for now, and I'll call again once I get to where I'm going to tonight, because I just don't want to deal with this anymore. And so I got to Abbotsford about 4:10, 4:15, because there are 2 roads into Abbotsford. One which was closed, one which was open. The one that was closed doesn't tell you that it's closed until it's closed. And once it tells you it's closed, you're like 400 yards from where you need to be to go to Abbotsford. So then I had to go back, turn around, drive all the way around to get to Abbotsford. So I got to Abbotsford, it was about 4:15. By this point I was done. I went past a sign that said flood, and I thought, if this is anything like the sign Mom and I went past that said flood many years ago, it's not actually flooded. And guess what? It wasn't flooded. Must have had the same feeling about like the closed road signs or something. It wasn't actually going to be closed, because the signs lie. They lie. So finally got to Abbotsford. It was about 4:10, 4:15, and usually the last entry into some of these houses is 4:15, 4:10, because they close at 5 and they want to make sure that you've got enough time to walk around the house, enjoy the grounds, do all the things you need to do, but that the volunteers and everybody are out of there on time to get home for their tea. So I got to Abbotsford. I went in. I'd forgotten my HHA card in the car. So I ran in. I went to the washroom, because I'd been waiting to go to the washroom since like 1 o'clock. And all this started happening at 12:45. So I was pretty desperate for a WC. And so I went running back out to the car, and I got my HHA pass, and then went back inside, and I had a lovely chat with the ladies. I got to see the 2 ladies who were manning the ticket booth at Abbotsford, which is quite posh actually. And you could see the look on the woman's face who was giving me the ticket. She was going to say no. She was going to say, you know, it's past late entry, we can't let you in. We told the guides there was no more entries, and I just burst into tears, great big crocodile tears, and I said, oh, I tears. And of course, being where I am, I was offered a tissue, asked politely to stop crying, and told that I could go in and to get on with it and to move on. So I walked down to that would have been like the straw that broke the camel's back, or the icing on the cake, if they'd said you cannot go into Abbotsford. That would have just not done my head any good at all. So I went in, I had a lovely chat with the 3 guides who were still in Abbotsford. Got to see some amazing things. Was very, very pleased that I made it. I got some great pictures, well, sort of great pictures, based on the fact that it was still pouring with rain, and the fact that I wasn't in the best frame of mind. But by the time I left there, I was smiling and happy again, and then I got back into my car, and I phoned from the car again to say, okay, I'm ready to get this done. And he said, sure, yeah. And then once you get to Allenton, call again and we'll get it all taken care of for you, and we'll dispatch someone out to change your tire. So I got to Allenton about 5 minutes past 6, something like that. And while I was sitting in the parking lot, I phoned and I said, okay, I'm ready to dispatch this query number. So they dispatched the query number for me, and I'm still waiting. So it's 8:39 now. I've had a pint, and I've had a lamb rump with risotto and chips, and I've also had 3 scoops of Hokey Pokey ice cream. So I'm a bit happier. At least I'm fed, I'm warm. I'm just gonna start editing some video for the night, and then get to bed, get ready for bed, go to bed, and start tomorrow. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Sorry, I forgot something. I was gonna tell you about Abbotsford. So Abbotsford, I'm reading from the little book at this point. So one of the first examples of Scottish Romantic baronial revival architecture, built by Sir Walter Scott on the proceeds of his famous Waverley novels. Abbotsford features Scott's outstanding personal library and quirky artifacts. So that was fantastic. So, and I got some pictures of some of the quirky artifacts. He had a mourning ring of Lord Byron's. He had some gifts that Lord Byron had given to him. He had there were some amazing things in that house. He had replicas of ceilings. He had entire hallways of wood paneling that had come from churches that were being demolished, statues. There was a desk which I could have run away with. The books, just the books. Oh, the books. I wish I could live in that library. He had 2 libraries. He had the large library and the small library, as you do. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. So fantastic. There was the armory. Didn't take any pictures in the armory, but there was a room covered in knives and swords and things, and some amazing paintings. And I think there was a Taylor painting in there. Could have stayed in there forever, really, but I only had 45 minutes, so I stayed all 45 minutes. I think the guys were kind of shooing me out by the end. But anyways, so that's what I did today. It was stunning. It was truly stunning. I was a little sad we only got to do 1 floor of that one. I could have spent a lot of time in there, but I didn't. So yeah. So I'm going to plan tomorrow, book some accommodation for tomorrow, and get some sleep. So see you all tomorrow. Bye.